Good morning. Connecting to my program, moving around some technology, getting ready for the Conscious Communication Show. So bear with me just a little bit. My computer is not the fastest on the planet, but it'll get there. So let me just get through the setup. Okay, and here we are. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the penultimate Conscious Communications and No Judgment, Just Love show. Today is Monday, August 10th, and this is episode number 7. Excuse me. Sorry, just getting myself all set up for a Monday morning. Here we are. Sorry about that. Okay, here we go. I am ShaRon Rea. I am your host. I am a family, relationship, and communication coach and owner of the Whole Family Coaching. I work with families, helping them communicate, families that are raising teenagers, families that are moving through divorce, fathers taking on a bigger role in the family, and grandparents raising their grandchildren. I'm also the founder of No Judgment, Just Love. It is a global movement helping us all live together one conversation at a time. And I invite you to look at my website at www.njjl.world. I'm thankful to Enlightened World Network for always supporting our show. I really appreciate their ability to give us this channel and to give us this time. So again, today is the penultimate Conscious Communication Show, and our topic today is say what you mean and mean what you say, assertive communication. Now, in conversations, we often, most of us, I think, want to be heard and understood, but we fall short of that goal because we're either shy or not able or willing to speak what's on our mind, or we're not aware that people just really aren't understanding what we say. So our conversations often wind up being arguments and we just get stuck there, or we walk away and don't have the conversation at all. What I'm hoping to give you some information today about assertive communication will give you the opportunity to express everything, the positive, the not so positive, really the good, the bad, and the ugly in an open, honest, and complete way. You and I and all of us have the right and the responsibility to speak what's on our mind. And at the same time, to not judge others or blame others if they don't understand or receive our messages. That really is no judgment, just love, being able to speak your mind and not judge the other person for how they receive it. What I've come to know as a family relationship coach and in my work as in No Judgment, Just Love, is people often speak from more of their pain rather than from their joy. So today I'd like to help us by starting with you. Just like on the airlines, put your own oxygen mask on first before you start talking to other people. So I have 4 areas for you to think about and contemplate where you are. The first one is, what are you tolerating in your world? What are you putting up with that really isn't serving you well? The second thing, what are you frustrated about? Where are things just kind of knotted up and not working in your life, in your relationships, in your family, at your job? What are you avoiding? What are you shutting down? What are you pushing aside? What are you not recognizing that is important for you to pay attention to? And then, what do you really want in life? Where are the things that you want to experience? What are the things that you want to experience in this beautiful life? Once you uncover some of the answers to those things, now your conversations are more you. And you can now truly consider and work on saying what you mean and meaning what you say. So our 3 points today are Benefits and disadvantages. There are some disadvantages to assertive communication. And then number two, stop that passive or that aggressive way that you talk so that you really can move into a more confident way of speaking. And the third is some tips to build on that, how to get your confidence up and really talk your conversations in a clear and open way. So the first thing is the benefits. When you can speak your mind with confidence, with good self-esteem, now stress goes away. Those conversations, have you ever had them where you're coming into the office and you know you have to speak to someone and there's those little butterflies in your stomach or that knot in your stomach when you have to tell your teen what they need to do differently, or speaking to someone you care about and it's going to be a difficult conversation? When you can have more confidence in what you're going to say, it releases that stress. It's also giving you the ability to speak to people, which I advocate, in a no judgment, just love way, with more kindness and more compassion, thereby giving people an openness to listen to you and hear you and maybe understanding you differently, because now you're more clear about what you want to say and you're giving your delivery in a way that allows them to listen. Now, speaking of listening, your listening skills will increase when your confidence of communication is higher, because now you really want to hear what that other person is saying so that you can really respond instead of reacting to what they say. So not only do you listen to their words, but you listen to what they're not saying. You also watch their body language, listen to their tone. And at the end of all of that, you'll be able, Lordy, to have more peace and less regrets, because now you're able to say the good, the bad, and the ugly, whatever's on your mind. Now, some disadvantages of speaking what's on your mind are these. The first is, some people might say, who is this new person that's talking their talk and walking their walk? I don't remember her. I don't know him. And they may stop talking to you. That's okay. You just keep being confident, because whoever leaves, new people will come. The second thing is that you'll have a healthier respect for other people's opinion because you have a confident respect for your own. The disadvantage of that is because you have a respect for other people's opinion, you might have to give up something that you've believed a long time because the other person might have made a good point. And the third thing is, as I said, people will not want to interact with somebody who stands up for themselves if that hasn't been you. And they may leave your life. They may stop talking to you. That's okay. Bless them, let them go, and stand up and be yourself. So number two is stop that passive or aggressive talk so that you can become more confident, more assertive, more assured of the things that you want to say. So let's identify some of the things in the passive mode, some of the things in the aggressive mode, and then give you the middle, the opportunity to consider more assertive conversation. So if you are passive, now, I got to admit, this was me. I was shut down. I'm the only child, and for whatever reason, I wanted to please people. So my conversations more often came from that filter of, I don't want to say anything that's going to hurt you. I don't want to say anything that's going to make you not like me. I don't want to say anything that's going to interrupt our ability to keep going, even though I've denied myself. So if you're in that space, here are some other things that passive conversation could not be helpful to you. You might feel guilty for the things that you're speaking that are your truth if you don't think the other person will believe that. You might feel shame about what you have to say. I know Brene Brown talks about really being authentic and really looking at yourself and being open and vulnerable. And when we're vulnerable, we give people the opportunity to really know who we are, so they can love, respect, or not the true us and not the pretend us, which was what I was giving a lot of the time. When you're in a more passive conversation mode, your boundaries are not healthy. You allow people in to take over the conversation or to help or to tell you what to do. And that really isn't an equal back and forth conversation. At the end of the day, if you're too passive, you just are trying to be accepted instead of trying to stand up for what you believe. Now, on the other end of the spectrum is the aggressive conversations, the aggressive people who talk at you through anger or through control, trying to control the conversation or be right. Do you have any of those people in your world that you're talking with? Well, here are some of those characteristics so you can recognize, again, that people speak more from their pain than from their joy. So this person, these people may have had something that happened in their past where they didn't feel comfortable or they were beaten down. And so now their communication comes at you. They're talking at you rather than to you or with you. And so it's explosive. It's arrogant sometimes. It's condescending often. It is self-absorbed. It's all about them. It might even be threatening. And parents, please watch out for this when you're speaking with your children. A threatening conversation, a threatening stance is not how you model loving, authentic, complete, compassionate communication to your children. And then there's a low consideration of other people's thoughts, their opinions, and that they even have a right to be speaking to you if you're in that very aggressive stance. So really recognize when you're trying to control the conversation or you're really being in it with a back and forth. So let's get into the middle where the assertive, the confident communication exists. The first thing is, I think you might consider and be willing, if you're in a more confident, assertive communication mode, to actually look at someone in their eyes. How often have you had conversation where people are, looking down at the floor or they're looking up and they really have, as you've noticed, an uncomfortable way of actually looking at people in their eyes? I've been told, and I think I believe, the eyes are the windows to your soul. They really give us a lot of information, and somehow with all of the technology and misunderstandings, we haven't been looking people in their eye. I don't mean staring at them, but just looking at them, giving the benefit of what we talked about in one of our other shows, which is I forgot the word right now, but it's letting people know that Ubuntu, thank you. It's Ubuntu, letting people know that they exist and they matter. So some of the other characteristics after you've been able to really look somebody in the eye are your messages are now going to be clearer because you've taken time to understand where your frustrations are, what you've been avoiding. And now when you formulate your conversation or your message, it's a lot clearer for you. You also have the opportunity to be comfortable in your conversation. I know when I was in the passive mode and really trying to please everyone, I was never quite comfortable with what I was saying. Now, because I've practiced not only no judgment, just love, but being more assured in my words and my messages, I feel pretty confident about what I'm saying. And I have healthier boundaries now. So assertive communication helps you know that space between what you want, what the other person may need to hear, and you're really working there in the middle, which is a balanced place to be. You're heard, they're heard, and that really equals a conversation. So I hope those help you stop the passive and stop the aggressive to get right into the middle where we all will benefit, which is assertive communication. Now, let's give you some tips to build upon that. These things have helped me in my life and in my clients' lives, so I hope they work for you as well. The first thing is, if you can, plan. And what I mean by that is if you have a conversation you know is coming up and it's going to be kind of difficult for you or a little challenging, or you're not sure if that person is going to understand you, don't just go right into it. Give yourself a pause and so you can plan. But if you're already in the conversation, now again, give yourself that pause. Be willing to say, hold on a minute, let me just think about how I want to respond instead of reacting. Then pay attention to your moods. Are you stressed today? Are you anxious today? Did you wake up and you're just really tired and exhausted? That's sometimes what can come through in your messages. The third thing is ask questions. Once you deliver your message, ask, did you understand? Do I need to explain that a different way? Or see how they respond to you, thereby giving you already that information that maybe you have to say what you just said in a different way, giving that person an opportunity to really be engaged in the conversation. And then speak your mind. But remember, if the other person doesn't understand what you're saying, don't blame them or judge them. Take responsibility for your own communication and find another way to help them understand. Here are a few little tips about your actual conversation. So speak positively about yourself. Sometimes people begin what they want to say with, oh, I think this might sound crazy, or maybe I'm not sure of what I'm talking about. Don't diminish what you have to say. Stand up, be confident, speak your mind. Don't chop it down before you even get started. And then after you've said what you say, just let it be at the end of that. Don't put any qualifiers on it. Oh, sorry, you might not have understood that. Or, oh, does that make sense? Yes, because it's your conversation. It makes sense. Trust and know that. If they didn't understand, they will say so, or you can ask. And the next important thing is the shouldas, the couldas, and the wouldas. Just really be cautious and take responsibility for yourself and say the things that are important for you to say. Don't allow someone else to infiltrate your boundaries by saying, oh, you should do this, or even the judgments in your mind saying, oh, I could have, why didn't I? So in other words, stop shoulding all over yourselves. And then the last one is just know that your opinions matter. They are your opinions, and no one has the right really to judge what your opinion is. Now, you can have a conversation about it and let people help you understand a different perspective, giving you some new information, but your opinion is your opinion. And no, guess what? No is a full sentence. Stop. Thank you. Those are some helpful hints about assertive communication. Now, we always end with a no judgment, just love quote. And our quote for today is, assertive communication is when you can have conversations in harmony with your self-esteem without hurting another human soul. That's no judgment, just love in your conversations. Thank you, everyone. I hope you have a wonderful Monday, an awesome week. Come back on Friday for the last in the series of 8 conscious communications and the practice of no judgment, just love show. Our topic on Friday is going to be, ever had any of those difficult conversations that you have to have with your spouse, with your children in our country about racism, about our politics? Well, I'm going to invite you to the comfy couch of no judgment, just love. Have a great day. Speak your mind with confidence so you can make every word count. Thank you.